Good morning, friends. Ben Ochart here. Thank you so much for tuning in for today's installment of Cichlids and Coffee. And wherever you are, I hope you're having one of these. So I notice a lot of you have been chit-chatting, getting a little bit of a pre-chat going. And let's take a look at what's going on and who's here before we jump into things here. And T-Bone, hi Ben, I tell you something about platies. For a little fish, I've never seen a fish crap so much like they do. Okay, so let me check here on the quality of the broadcast, and I will actually address that. Let's see here. If somebody can give me a little bit of a status on how the message is coming across, give me a sound and video check if one of my moderators are there. Let's see here. Hey Candy, how does the video and the sound look? Is it good? Because I'm getting a funny message from YouTube. Everything is good here, Daniel. Are you referring to the sound and picture quality? I hope you are. Looking good, Ben. Okay, good. Okay, good. Audio's perfect. Audio, video, good. Okay, thank you so much. I don't know why I'm getting this odd message from YouTube. I got it a couple of weeks ago too. I don't know what's happening because I have a very strong Wi-Fi signal. Okay. All right, thank you, Jeff. Breathtaking. Oh, I don't think I've ever been described that way. All right, T-Bone, getting back to your question. First of all, T-Bone, you were first on the stream, so of course you get some stickers. So not sure if you have some already. If you do, let me know because there's something else I might be able to send you. So thank you, everybody who's here. And Po Siwi, Mary, hi Mary, and hi Po Siwi. Use Panha, hi Ben, Ricardo from Portugal. Hi Ricardo, I hope you find yourself well. And I would say hello in your native tongue, but my Portuguese is not any good. And did you decide what you're going to do? We're still in the logistics part of it. I'm actually going next week. This coming Thursday, we're flying out to Tennessee. We have an agent there that is going to have about a dozen houses for us to look at, and then we're going to decide from there. But as of right now, we're still in the logistic stages. Let's see here. But I will definitely let you know as soon as there's an update. You folks you'll be finding out very, very quickly. Mr. Ed's Aquatics, thanks for showing up, Mr. Eds. I appreciate it. You were a little early, I notice. That's good. And Cat Sailor, hey Cat Sailor, glad you're here as always. Gary Robinson, hello Gary Robinson. Neil, hey Neil, hope you're doing well, my friend. So, Mike's Aquariums. Hey, Mike. How you doing? Leslie Ariano. I hope I pronounced that right. Leslie, good morning. Good morning to you. And it looks like somebody, Gary Robinson, jumps in for $4.99. Thank you, Gary. I appreciate that support. And as you folks know, I am building a moving fund. I don't know if you folks have had a quote recently on moving, but it starts at maybe 3,000 to 5,000 and goes up from there. So let's see here. Candy, I'm glad you're here. I'm not sure is GP here. Kevin and Denny. So looks like Candy's doing all the heavy lifting. I like it. Hey Tulio Lopez, Paul's here. Daryl. 1974 Scooser in Gibraltar. Wow. Gibraltar, that's amazing to me. All right, well, let's get things underway here. And let's go ahead and make this official. Now, remember, if you're new to the channel, if you're watching this on the replay or watching it now, be sure to hit that sub button and that bell. That tells me you like the content of the channel, that you're getting something out of it, and it also informs you when I go live and upload new content. And it fires me up when you folks do that. It's great feedback. And of course, here's the short commercial on ways you can support the channel. Amazon, I have a store at Amazon, all the products I use and recommend. And if you go to Amazon using that link and you buy something else from Amazon, the channel gets a little percentage. Very little, but it gets a little percentage. So it's a great way to support the channel. Teespring, if you want t-shirts and coffee mugs and stuff like that, it's available at the Teespring store. So different ways to support the channel. That's the end of that commercial. And of course, Super Chats. And while I'm on the topic of Super Chats, the Super Chats will be in a special drawing. So anyone that Super Chats today or next Saturday is going to be in a special drawing for Super Chatters. That's going to be for that for the algae scrubber, if it's something you want, and that air pump. The air pump from Expertmatic that was covered in a prior video. So those things are available. They're discussed in the giveaway video. There's a giveaway video that I put out. And so there's going to be a Super Chatters giveaway and just a general giveaway. Anybody that's there can participate in that giveaway on the 29th of August. And let me see if I can pull it up here. We have some new vendors that have jumped into the giveaway. Let's see if I can pull them up here. Some of you mention or talk about the plants in the aquarium, the artificial plants. Elite Cichlids has jumped into the giveaway, and they put in two $50 gift cards. So those are available, and those will be given away at the drawing on the 29th. So be sure to be there on Saturday the 29th for the cichlids and coffee. And let's get into some recent video topics. And you know, I love to get your feedback on those. The huge channel giveaway video, you can see it right here. Huge channel giveaway. Maybe I'll go from above. That one is the one that goes into some of the details and a lot of the different folks that have jumped in. We have Aquarium Co-op, a $50 certificate. We have Piscine is putting in some food. We have, of course, the pump and the algae scrubber. We have Nolan's Aquarium, $100 certificate shopping spree. We have our friends at the Cichlid Shack, $50. Super Cichlids, $50. Actually, the Cichlid Shack, I think, is two $50 certificates. And at any rate, there's a Las Vegas cichlids threw in $50. Cunningham cichlids threw in $50. So you got quite a bit of action going on with this giveaway. So one of the videos I released was just a tip on helping to keep sand out of your filters, and it doesn't apply just to canisters. And I think that maybe because the video concentrated on FX6, or I talked about an FX6, and there was a picture of one in the video thumbnail. maybe folks thought it was about just FX6s. I have had some sand come out of the FX6 when I've cleaned it. Now, not so much since I started to use that pre-filter. But when I rinse out the pre-filter, I noticed that there was a little bit of sand in it. The pre-filter being the sponge that fits over the intake that I picked up from Corey over at the Aquarium Co-op. So just as a double safeguard, what I do is I go ahead and I put some pebbles, some good size polished river rock around the base of the intake. And so the likelihood of a fish picking up sand and spitting it right into the intake is going to be less likely. Now, interestingly enough, I am finding some sand on top of the pebbles underneath the intake. So they were moving sand, and also the power heads and the output of the FX6, which is very strong, also was perhaps picking up some of the sand, as evidenced by the gap, by the holes in the aquarium. There's areas of the aquarium near the front left corner, where there are low spots, and that's from the movement I have going on in that aquarium. One of the things I do with my aquariums is I have the power heads positioned in a way that creates a motion that circulates and moves the waste to the intakes of the filters, and this helps to keep waste suspended and sucked up by the filters. So especially with sand, which shows everything because it just sits on the top, I think that's very important. And with this kind of a substrate, the waste gets caught. It gets caught in the pieces of coral. So even though I have like a 3,000 gallon per hour high door in the corner, I still, when I vacuum, I still pick up a lot of detritus because it gets caught in the substrate. So anyway, so the tip on that one, don't kill your filter, was to take precautions that will help you to not have sand get scooped up into your filters. That can apply to hang-on backs. It can apply to canisters, any kind of filter really. If sand gets in there, it can grind stuff up, and that's not good. Also, I like to keep my intakes low for a variety of reasons, mostly to circulate the tank water. I like that lower tank water that's lower in the tank pulled up and then dropped back in. So I have a good circulation going. I have good oxygenation going on throughout the entire tank. I have even temperature throughout the tank. So I keep my intakes low. By low, I mean a few inches from the bottom. The downside of that is that it does make them more likely to get stuff sucked in that you don't want sucked in. So anyway, my solution, put some pebbles around there, and certainly not something you have to worry about if you're bare bottom. And some of you might be bare bottom right now. I get it. All right. So, hey, what did I miss here? It looks like somebody came in with $10. What's going on? You snuck one in. And, and $2 and $2. And you guys are overwhelming me with super chats. I love it. Thank you so much. Gary, we got yours for $4.99. Thank you so much, Gary. And Peter Barron, thank you, my friend. $2. Mr. Ed's Aquatics, $2. Thank you so much, my friend. And Sean DeClerc for $10. Thank you so much, Sean. That's very appreciated, my friend. And Mary, hey Mary, coming through for $4.99. Thank you so much. So one of the things that I might be throwing into the giveaway, and if you folks have Mabuna, if you keep Mabuna, let me know in the chat if you're a Mabuna keeper. Because if there's a lot of you, I think what I might do is I got this package. I got this box. I'm going to be releasing a video. And the video, as you can imagine, is called, is going to be called, it's one of the What's in the Box videos. And I got 16, a big, like a crate of these rocks. You can see it there. These are like perfect Mbuna caves. And they come in different sizes. Look at this guy. That's a couple of Mbuna could breed in there if they wanted to. They're stackable, right? You can stack them. You can create a Mbuna condo. And what do I mean by that? Well, you know, one way to help your Mbuna with territory is to not just go horizontal, but to go vertical. Create stackable caves. And what that does, I mean, think about it. It multiplies your real estate tremendously. So you can stack these, and they come in. Look at this one. You got a baby Mbuna? Even a Shelly might go in there. And if your name is Shelly, Shelly is a kind of fish. So I don't mean that if your name is Shelly that you go in there. But this is the smaller one. Anyway, I've got a box of these. Watch for a video that's coming up. I'm still not sure what to do with them. They're not made of plastic. I thought maybe they would be plastic or rubber, but listen to that. They're like a ceramic. And I feel like if I dropped them on something like a concrete floor, they would shatter. I mean, they're like, and they meet the criteria that I have for aquarium decor. My criteria for aquarium decor is very simple. No sharp edges, where a fish can gouge an eye or their side, like in a chase in the dark or something. No sharp edges. This is why I went away from lava rock. It had too many points. I have a couple pieces of lava rock that I'm still using, but it's pretty smooth. So no sharp points. And light. I like it to be light so that if I'm putting it in and I happen to drop it, it doesn't shatter the bottom of the tank. Also, I like the surface to have texture so that it can grow, you know, a little bit of maybe some algae over time, but also not be so textured with so many little nooks and crannies that it's impossible to clean in case you get something like let's say you get black algae or something. So this surface with a brush, with a light brush, you could clean that surface very easily. You know, with a dish brush or a toothbrush, it'd be very easy to clean. These rocks are from a company called, let me see, Underwater Galleries. Underwater Galleries. You can see it at my Amazon store, Underwater Galleries. So the video on the pump that you can see right there, the video on the pump, had a pretty good response. I think they got a lot of orders for it. I like that pump. I like it a lot. And as you see in the video, the video thumbnail, it's sturdy. It's well built. Puts out a lot of air. I like the adjustable knob on the top. There's a lot to like about it. The airline that came with it, perhaps because of the shipping and the way they pack it, was kinked. And I probably would have to run it under some hot water to get the kink out of it. But I suspect if you use that pump, you're probably going to go out and buy some more airline anyway, because the airline is, you know, it's not super long. And but they give you a nice air stone, and they give you a one-way valve. And what that means is if the water starts to back siphon, it's not going to get into your pump, onto your floor, and drain out your aquarium. It's going to be stopped in the airline. So they give you these little one-way valves. You cut the airline, you put the one-way valve in, and big plus point. I was very happy to see that. Also, I did my final verdict on that hang-on filter, and as you know, that Expertmatic filter, which I ended up liking a lot. I cleaned it. I cleaned it on camera, so you could see how much detritus it had picked up in about 3 to 4 weeks. It actually gathered up a lot of detritus, and some people were a little concerned that I was using tap water. I'm not counting on that filter for beneficial bacteria, and on the contrary, I have tremendous amount of surface area, so cleaning out that filter in tap water, if it's the only filter you're using in let's say a 40-gallon let's say you put it into a breeder or something, 40-gallon breeder tank or a 30-gallon or something like that, it's the only filter you're using, yes, squeeze out the sponges in tank water, get a bucket of tank water, squeeze out the sponges in tank water, and only maybe squeeze out 2 and then leave 1 alone. And then on the next servicing, squeeze out that one, the one you left alone, leave the other 2 alone. Rotate if that's the only real, real filtration you have. I have, like I say in the video, I have about 100 pounds of media and porous sponges and, 10 square miles. I even have a Brightwell block. I have, 2 containers of Brightwell cubes under here. I have so much real estate, it's ridiculous. I could probably string my beneficial bacteria from here to the moon. So rinsing that in tap water was not that big a deal. So, but some people were a little bit, concerned that I was doing that. They were a little concerned that I was running the water. Oh my God, the drought. Technically the drought in California is over. I know it's hard to imagine that when we have 100 degrees outside, but the drought is over, and so we're in good shape with our water now. It doesn't mean you should waste water, but come on, guys, give me a break. So the videos that are coming up, we have some great videos coming up, and I think they're going to be fun. And let me go back here and check one thing, see how you folks are doing. Rock Island comes in for $2. Hello, Rock Island. Thank you so much for that. Very appreciated. Marty, did I get you already for that $4.99? I think I did, right? All right, thank you. And thank you, Rock Island. Daryl Dimer. Hey, Daryl. Welcome back, my friend, and thank you for the $4.99. Very appreciated. And as I mentioned when I first got started, there will be a Super Chatters giveaway, and then there'll be a giveaway everybody can participate in. And I hate to say this because I love my moderators, but the moderators really can't, if I really can't have them in it because it looks a little bit weird if a moderator wins. So, but I'll take care of you moderators some other way. I'll take care of you. But so the moderators can't win. Family can't win. If my son or daughter are watching the stream, they can't win. And so just some little rules here that I want to keep in mind. But let's go back to the upcoming videos. What's in the box video? It's about the aquarium rocks and caves. You'll see me actually install this in one of the tanks, and it's kind of a fun little video. Played around with a few things, and I also have a video on how you save tremendous amounts of money with the use of a quarantine tank. And so watch that video. I think you'll like it. It's not going to be the things that you think of that are pretty obvious. There's other subtle ways that a quarantine tank can save you a boatload of dough. And I'm going to talk about it in those 5 top tips on how to save hundreds of dollars with a quarantine tank. And then I do an update on fish. And not to let the cat completely out of the bag, but there's a fish missing in here. Some of you know already. If you follow me on Instagram, you already know that I'm missing the Fusco. The Fusco was doing a lot better, was swimming around, was eating, was looking okay, but he was still getting a little chased by that trout. And I don't know. There's something about that Fusco that sets that trout off. And so I decided to give the Fusco a vacation, and he is now in the 100. And of course, the first worry I had was he's so big. Is he going to eat some of the smaller guys in the 100? Is he going to harass him? And he's acting like an older fish will tend to act. He's just hanging around. He's just minding his own business, kind of drifting around. He's healed up. His sides look great. He's out in the open. He's eating like a pig. And so that may just be his retirement home. We'll see. But I give you an update on all the fish. I give you an update on some of the giveaway information, and I talk a little bit about what happened with the Fusco, why I made that move, and so tune in for that video as well. Some interesting news, and I have to thank you folks for this. You folks truly, truly do rock. And when I say that, I mean it. You rock. And the channel hit 5 million views, and I'm just overwhelmed. I'm just overwhelmed that, you know, I mean, I know it's not a lot. I mean, there's some people out there that get 5 million views with one video. So, different genre. You know, I'm the niche I'm in here, fish keepers, 5 million views. You know, we're about to break 28,000 on subs. Just wonderful, wonderful. I'm just so excited, and you know, my kids are they're like so happy for Dad starting the second chapter in his life. You know, blah blah blah. You know, this whole thing that a few years ago, you know, not that long ago, none of this even existed. It didn't even exist as an option. So it really is a brand new. So who says old dogs can't learn new tricks? So anyway. So at any rate, there you go. And show you just some of the banners from some of our participants. I love their logos, so I thought I'd show you some of the logos. In particular, the one for Elite cichlids that hopefully will be coming up here. I'm not sure. It was a little bit slow on the... let's see here. But anyway, you'll see all those banners. There you go. There's Elite cichlids. That's their banner. Kind of pretty. I like that. I like that banner. So let's get into today's topic, and it's a topic that certainly we get into a lot. And I even had one person comment. Oh, you know, nitrates. I think they did one of those little barf emojis, you know. So anyway, here we are. I want to talk about it because I get asked so much about it. I mean, every week I get somebody and asking. Now, Rock Island, by the way, Rock Island 105. I'm not sure if I said thank you. Thank you for that super chat, my friend. Daryl Dimer, did I get you? I hope I did. And Terrence Thorson. Terrence, thank you so much. It's $4.99, but you'll have 5. I'm going to put your name in 5 times for that special Super Chatters giveaway. Mr. Eds comes in with 99 cents, and every amount is appreciated, sir. Thank you so much. And I'm going to assume it's a sir with Mr. Eds. I don't know, though. I don't know if I really can't assume anything. But thank you. Thank you so much for that. So Jeff Beatty comes in with 5. Thank you, Jeff. I appreciate that, buddy. And let's see here. 105 watching, 44 likes. Go Candy. Go Candy. You know, Candy is like we get you some pom-poms, you know. Give me a like. You're awesome, Candy. You know that. I wonder where's Is GP here? Where's GP? If he's here, I'm not seeing him. I know Denny and Kevin, they have to work on weekends sometimes, so we don't see them. But anyway, Candy, thank you. You're carrying the load today. So let's get back here to the topic. I'm going to share with you a couple opinions that I have. Whether you agree with them or not, I don't. You know, that's certainly up to you. But first of all, overall, I think there's way too much worry about nitrates. And I can show you some research. And, you know, the like fish farms that have 10,000 salmon in a, an enclosure that they're going to sell. I mean, they're always testing this stuff because they want to make sure the fish are healthy, and because if the fish get ravaged by disease, they lose their entire harvest, right? So they put out research, and granted, the research might be a little slanted because they're trying to promote keeping fish in conditions like that, and I personally don't. This is just me. I'm not trying to start a controversy. I don't eat farm fish. I don't like fish that are kept like that. I eat wild-caught fish, and I probably shouldn't say that in front of my tank. I would never eat a cichlid. So, but getting nitrates up in the hundreds was apparently not showing that much, if any, impact on fish. Is it ideal? No. Is it something you should really, really beat yourself up, agonize, lose sleep? I don't think so. I don't think so. I think if you get a real high spike like that, you need to perhaps add some minerals to neutralize the acids. You can do that subtly with things like limestone, coral, things of that nature. You need to do larger water changes. And people go, well, wait a minute, is the water change going to shock the fish? Anything you do to the tank is going to alarm your fish. You remove the core, add fish, take fish out, sit in front of it and do a live stream. All these things alarm and create some stress for your fish. You have to weigh the pros and cons. This tank, despite tons of beneficial bacteria, when I say tons of beneficial bacteria, I know I'm only going to get the amount of beneficial bacteria that the ammonia can support. I get it. So don't go down that path. But I have a very, very established tank. I still do 80%, 70 to 80% water changes because of the amount of ammonia that these fish produce. Tremendous amounts of ammonia. That keeps my nitrates between 20 and 40. Have I been successful at keeping nitrates below 20? Never with African cichlids. It hasn't happened for me. Even with large water changes and an algae scrubber on the 100, between 20 and 30, I'm in pretty good shape. Am I seeing an adverse reaction in my fish? I don't think so. I don't think so. Am I breeding? I'm not breeding. Maybe if the nitrates were lower, if I was a breeder, probably keeping those nitrates around 10 to 20 to produce the absolute pinnacle of optimal conditions. Then the fish would be more likely to breed and would give me a bigger spawn. Yeah, those are factors. If some of you out there are breeders, you tell me. I mean, did you notice a difference in the breeding when you had lower nitrates versus slightly elevated nitrates? So my point is this. I think there's too much worry about nitrates. If your nitrates are 40 to 80, even as much as 100, take a deep breath. Do a slightly larger water change. Get your water changes over 50%. Check your tap. Do a test on your tap water. If you have nitrates coming out of your tap water and you're doing water changes that are less than 50%, I don't think you're going to make any progress in reducing nitrates. I did some math on it a while back. I'm not a scientist, but I did a little bit of light math on it. And it's just percentages wise, parts per million wise. If you're getting 10 parts per million out of the tap, and you do a 50% water change, and you're running at 30 to 40% parts per million, I mean you're not going to make that much of an impact on your total nitrates. As a matter of fact, you might get into what was referred to in a series of videos that I did. You might get into this thing that one of you actually coined the phrase, a nitrate creep, where you're doing water changes and water changes and water changes, 20%, 20%, 20%, 30%, and your nitrates are creeping up. And you're driving yourself crazy. You're like, what am I doing? I'm doing 4 water changes a week, and my nitrates are going up. What's happening? You probably have nitrates coming out of your tap. And do a few of them at about 80%. Do a 50, then do a 60, then do a 70 if you want to go on a graded, on a graded scale. And if you're worried about the shock of the fish, be sure that you're treating as you're filling up the tank. Maybe even over condition a little bit. Just over condition, and just a little bit, and fill the tank slowly. Don't fill it with a fire hose. Let it trickle fill, and the fish will do fine. I do 80, sometimes 90% water changes. Fish do fine. They do totally okay. I treat for the entire system, 150 plus 30 gallons or so in the sump. So it's technically 180 gallons. You have displacement because of the decor. So honestly, it's probably more like 150 or maybe 160 gallons total, because you have the displacement of decor. Even though this decor is hollow, these are hollow rocks from Universal, and the biggest displacement is probably the substrate and the media that I have in the sump. So that's my 2 cents on nitrates. Don't worry so much if they start to creep up. Do larger water changes. Do them on a gradient and do them more often. You're not going to make an impact if you're doing less than 50%. If you have nitrates coming out of your tap, that's real. It's anecdotal. I'm not a scientist, but that's what I observed. And I was doing 20% on average for about 6 months, almost a year. And I decided to test the tanks, and I was shocked that my nitrates were over 40 to 80. I didn't panic. I just started thinking about it, and that's where I came up. That's where I decided to test the tap. And my tap didn't have nitrates before. So if you've tested your tap once, don't think it's like that forever, because the treatment plants and wherever your water's coming from, even if you have a well, let's say you're adjacent to a farm, they're putting tons of nitrogen on those crops. Maybe some of it bled into your well. So just test your tap. That was my takeaway from that whole experience. Test the tap on a regular basis, maybe once a month. See what that tap's doing. And if my tap were to show 0 nitrates, I'd probably go back to 20 to 40% water changes. Just a little less overall stress on the fish. I'm doing 80, 90%. Look at the fish. It's like basketball. Ball don't lie, numbers don't look at the fish. 80, 90% water changes. Now, there are 2 fish in here I have to make a comment on, because some of you have commented on this. Some of you have said, your eye biter looks like he has a sunken belly. And I also have a Xerox, this fellow right here. They have always had a little bit of a sunken belly. I've treated them with General Cure, Metro. I've put them in tanks and treated them. They go back in. Their bellies are shaped like that. They eat like crazy. They're active. Their color's good. I think that genetically, I have fish that just sort of have that. They're just a little bit. There was a time where I was feeding the eye biter those omega-1 cichlid cubes at the side of the tank. We had this little we had this little arrangement going on where I would feed him through one of the holes in the top of the tank privately. So only he would get it. And those cubes are pretty good size, and I'd give him one, sometimes two. He's the only one that would eat it. He would go up there, just chomp them and go off, and then come back and get another one. You know, you could tell he was full. And no change. Still has a slightly caved in belly. And this little Xerox, who's I've had for probably 5 years now, old fish, and has always had that little bit of a, I mean, the anal fin and the pec kind of accentuate it, the way he holds his fins, but yeah, he's got a little bit of a sunken belly. So, at any rate, for those of you that have asked about that, I mean, if I had a parasite issue, certainly some of these other fish would be showing signs. And on the contrary, look at the stomach on this guy. Just a little pig. Anyway, so let me hear your comments. Let me hear some of what you have to say on nitrates. I'm going into the chat here, and did I miss any super chats? If I did, I'm sorry. Let's see here. Hey, half man, half cichlid. How you doing, my friend? Yes, I even released a video on that topic of the many reasons why we do water changes. You don't do water changes just for nitrates, that's for sure. There's a lot of other reasons why we do them. Cat Sailor, you watched the video where I put crushed coral. Yes, I put crushed coral in the FX6 because the usually I use aragonite, and in the 100-gallon I didn't use aragonite. I used plain sand, just a beach sand from a company called Imaginarium. And what I do is I then put that crushed coral in the canister in a mesh bag, and I got it from Caribbean Sea. It's Caribbean Sea. I think they even call it cichlid specific and crushed coral. And it's exactly what this is. And it releases minerals into the water. Now, somebody once mentioned, hey, Kevin Green and GP. Hey, guys, glad you're here. So someone mentioned that crushed coral over time might actually stop releasing calcium and magnesium into the water and minerals. If you know anything about that, let me know. Again, I'm not a scientist or a mineralogist, but someone said, yeah, you got to swap out. If you're putting it in there for minerals, every now and then you have to swap it out. But it would seem to me that it would continue to release and dissolve over time, and it's made of those minerals. So maybe it just wouldn't release as much, but anyway, let's see here. It looks like somebody came in here. Brandon Rodriguez. I have Rodriguez on my mother's side of the family. We have Rodriguez. We might be cousins, my friend. So, hey, men, love your stuff. Dealing with a nasty strain of colonaris in my 125, treating water with medicated food. Do I need to sanitize my tank? There's a theory that columnaris actually breeds on waste, on detritus, on poop that is in your tank. I definitely wouldn't go through a whole sanitation process, sterilizing things. I would definitely lift up decor and make sure you don't have any pockets of waste under decor. If you have a 3D background, you may have to get behind it and clean that up. Just make sure you don't have a place where the columnaris is actually, has a place where it can really breed and multiply. This is just me talking from my experience, how I beat it. Get the most powerful antibiotic you can get a hold of. I was able to get a hold of the Fritz Maricin antibiotic. I also found some medicated food on eBay. Be sure it is, I believe it's gram negative. Be sure that it's the right kind of antibiotic for colomaris. And that food, together with the Fritz Maricin, it just killed it. It just stopped it. And I was going to lose probably all of my fish, and I ended up losing 50%. That sounds devastating, a 50% fish loss. And yes, it was devastating. But compared to what you normally hear, it was actually a victory to be able to stop it. A lot of vacuuming. I didn't let any waste stay in the tank. I got under decor and cleaned it really well. I used both the Fritz and the medicated food that I got on eBay. Don't waste your time with your with gentle, your Pima and Metaflex, whatever those products are, the Pima and those products were a complete waste of time, and the time I spent using them allowed the colomaris to actually take a bigger hold of the tank. Oddly enough, the 60-gallon never got a speck of it, even though I was sharing siphon equipment and nets. For some reason, the 60-gallon never got a speck of it. It was the 100 and the at that time the 135 that really got it bad. And I have a series of videos called "My Fish Are Dying," and talks about what happened on there. And I wish you luck, because it is a nasty disease that shows itself sometimes with a white stripe behind the dorsal fin that goes vertically across the fish. It can look like fin rot. It can look like fungus. It can look like a lot of stuff. It can also look like nothing. It can attack the organs, and the fish can just fall over and die. And so it's just a nasty disease. So good luck with that. And man, oh man, hit it hard with antibiotics. And are your antibiotics going to have an impact on your beneficial bacteria? I didn't see that as a problem. And once I stopped treating, I made sure that I put in charcoal to absorb all the residual antibiotics. And then after about a month, I threw away that charcoal. Be sure you don't have any charcoal, any activated carbon, anything like Purigen, anything like that is a chemical, filtering agent. Don't have any of that anywhere in the tank if you're treating, because it will absorb the medication and not let it treat your fish. So be sure to take all that out of your tank. So Jeff Chambers, I think the debate is what nitrate level is considered high or toxic, although that could be tested in a lab. That I think that's part of it, and I've expressed before, and I know it's not popular, especially with companies that sell medications and water conditioners, but I think that I think there's a lot of fear mongering, trying to create fear, because it certainly will boost sales and create anxiety, and so you'll go out and buy a lot of this and buy a lot of that. And on the other hand, there's some truth there. You don't want it to get out of control, and it's one of many signs that something might be wrong with your tank. If you're having a sudden jump in nitrate, something is wrong. It's like if you have a little jump in ammonia, look for a dead fish, look for something's going on. It's a sign, it's a flag. But it's one of many flags that you should use in taking care of your tank. And the best test, and it's not Salifert, it's not It's not the CCAM nitrate test. It's not the master test kit. Your best aquarium test is your eyeballs. That's your best aquarium test. Look at your fish. That's the best advice I could give you. You may or may not agree. I don't know. My advice, your first and best test, look at your fish. Are they colorful? Are they active? Are they, if you're a breeder, are they breeding? Are they eating well? Are they attacking their food like voraciously? That's the way they should be eating. They should be attacking that food. If they're not attacking it, maybe you have the wrong food, or maybe something's a little off. So that's your first test, and I trust that. First and foremost, your eyeballs. That's your first test. Then your master test kit, your strips, your Saliford, your test kit, your CChem nitrate test kit, right? Then those, but nothing beats you looking and making a conclusion based on what you see. And if I walked into someone's house and I saw this tank, I would say, damn, those fish look really healthy. I'm a little concerned about that sunken belly. That's probably what I would say, not knowing that the fish has been like that for 4 years, right? But that's what I would say. So that's your first and most important test. And Daniel Lopez comes in with $4.49. Thank you, Daniel. Very appreciated. You and a lot of the super chatters today have been long-term supporters of the channel, and you actually went through the process where I was learning how to live stream, where I would crash and where I would be upside down and where you couldn't hear me. And I really, really appreciate those of you that went through that growth process with me. I mean, Candy was a saint. I'm surprised she didn't just kick me to the side of the road and abandon me. So I thank all of you for hanging in there so much. So let's see what the chat has to say here. And let's go back here. $132 watching, only 59 likes. You stay on them, Candy. You stay on them hard. All right, I'm reading the current chat. So if you have something to say, please say it now. Candy, the upside down days were kind of fun, but I tell you, on this side of the camera, it was very unnerving. We're losing the signal and then having to start a new live stream and then hoping people would find it and come back on. And oh my God. Thank you, Baller Dragon. Thank you so much for that. And if you have any questions, go ahead and ask them now. Gia, Aquatic and Pets, yeah, you're an internet celeb. I don't think so. My kids think so, but internet celebrity. Corey at the Aquarium Co-op, John and Lisa, certainly Joey, the king of DIY. Those guys, I think, are starting to get into that internet celebrity status. So I've got a long ways to go. For those of you that tuned in late, I am going to be leaving on Thursday for a couple days. I will be back in time for the live stream. I'll just be gone, I think. Yeah, I'll be back in time for the live stream this coming Saturday. But I'm going to go to Tennessee. I'm going to be looking at some houses with my wife and my youngest daughter. And so I'll have an update for you. Hopefully we find the place we're looking for. My wife needs an office. I need a fish room. And it's going to be so nice not to have to talk to you from a bedroom, and to have a fish room where I can leave my lights up, leave my camera on a tripod, and not have to tear everything. It takes me an hour of setup and tear down, apart from the 2 hours of preparation for these live streams. So it'll be really nice just to have a place that's just set up, and that's my fish room. That's where I do the live stream from. So we're looking for a place with a built-out basement, and that'll be that'll be where I hole up. And it's got to have water. It's got to have things of this nature. Fortunately, in Tennessee, almost every house has a basement, and I think maybe because of sometimes they get tornadoes or hurricanes. You have to have a place sort of underground that you can go to and kind of be secure until it passes, the storm passes. So a lot of them have that. So I'll have an update for you on Tennessee on when that's going to happen. Fingers crossed, prayers, good thoughts, vibes, that we find the ideal place, we can get the paperwork done, and we can get this show on the road, because it's driving me crazy. And, California is, I've lived my whole life here. I love California. But my oldest daughter and her husband are in Tennessee, and I miss them, and I hope they give us a grandchild pretty soon. So that's one of several reasons. Okay, so any questions, ask them now or forever hold your peace. Thank you, everybody that has super chatted in today's live stream. I'm making the chat float around here. Thank you to everybody that super chatted. Thank you to my moderators, and thank you to all of you who are here. And you are very, very appreciated. And watch for tomorrow's video. And if you look at these videos that are coming up, of these 3 videos, the video on aquarium, rocks, and caves, the video on the 5 top tips on how I saved hundreds of dollars with the use of a quarantine tank, the video on old fish, new fish, and upcoming giveaway details, which video would you folks like to see tomorrow morning? I usually release videos at midnight, so it would be available as of 12 a.m. on Sunday. Which of those 3 videos would you like to see tomorrow morning? And based on your feedback, I'm going to let you decide which of those would you like to see, and you make the choice. So I'll let you folks get your votes in, and we'll go from there. So that's it for me, folks. I'm going to leave the stream open so that you folks can share which of those videos you want to see tomorrow, and I'll probably go off of your votes. Thank you to my moderators. Thank you to all of you. You rock. KG says 5 tips. Daryl Barrett wants the rocks video. And Mr. Ed rocks. Texas Fish Room wants to hear about rocks and caves. Ripple Rip 5, save money. Save hundreds, 5 tips. 5 tips. Okay, we got a bit of a battle. I'm going to leave the stream up a little bit so you folks can keep voting even after I'm gone. Thank you, everybody. You are appreciated. And I hope you enjoy tomorrow's video, Tuesdays and Thursdays. I will see you next Saturday with an update on what happened in Tennessee. And I will maybe have some pictures of my future fish room. That'll be kind of exciting. And I'm putting out some feelers to see if there are some vendors out there that would like to participate in the move and in the setting up of the fish room. And you folks keep voting. And that's it for me. Thank you so much, everybody. You take care and be well.